Hello, you're watching Talkscope on MNB World, and today we have invited to our studio two interesting guests. A theater producer from the United Kingdom, Mr. Paul Godfrey, and the cultural envoy of Mongolia to UK, Mrs. Unurmaa Janchiv. Thank you for accepting our invitation.
It's a great pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Paul Godfrey is a producer, executive producer, and production manager specializing in large ballet, opera, rock, and theater events. With over 25 years of entertainment industry experience, he has worked on a variety of arts and culture projects. He has collaborated with major international theaters including Royal Opera House, La Scala, San Francisco Ballet, and various projects, working with artists like Placido Domingo, Paul McCartney, and Elton John. For over 10 years, he was a founding partner in Arts Fusion, one of the UK's largest independent opera and ballet producers. Now he operates his own company, Godfrey Arts Management. Unurmaa Janchiv is a cultural envoy of Mongolia to the United Kingdom and a board member of the NGO Council of Mongolians Abroad. She works to support bilateral cooperation between Mongolia and the UK in the fields of art, culture, history, sports, and science. Usually, Unurmaa focuses on promoting Mongolia through the art, culture, and creative industries. She has lived and worked in the United Kingdom for over 20 years. Since 2007, she has been organizing exhibitions and performances by Mongolian artists in the UK. I would like to start our interview from the purpose of your visit to Mongolia.
Well, I came here at the invitation of this wonderful lady because our company, B.Lkhagvasuren Productions, intends to bring, what's the name of the show? I'm sorry.
The seal without, the throne without the seal.
Okay. Intends to bring this wonderful production of The Seal Without a Throne to London and other European cities at some stage next year. Very excited about it. It's my first time in Mongolia, and the artwork itself is fabulous, and we wish to do everything we can to make it come to pass.
That's really interesting. How did you come up with the idea of staging a Mongolian play spectacle in UK?
So we were approached through the Foreign Ministry and the Embassy of Mongolia in the UK to help the play to be staged in the UK. And Maktub Productions, which we established with Bayırtitek, our actress, based in London, and myself as cultural envoy, we've been working on the project for about 4 months and helping them to find a British production company who would really work on this huge task and huge project. And we announced a tender, and it went through the Arts Council of the United Kingdom, and also Department of Culture and Department of International Trade. So the final, I think, station was the Society of London Theatres, which kindly helped us to find several productions actually who put through their proposals, but B.Lkhagvasuren Productions and Wild Yak Productions won the tender, and Paul is one of the members, experienced members. So we're very delighted that it's coming to the UK.
Okay, that's really interesting. Our viewers might not be familiar. What does the theater producer does? Can you talk to us about your occupation?
Well, there's many things that a theatre producer does. I myself have worked in many different genres, from rock and roll to ballet, opera and drama. And I work mainly with international companies, bringing them to other places, whether it be to the United Kingdom or something to China. So for me, first of all, you have to make sure that a project is going to work in a sense that the audience is going to understand it and want to come. After you've established that, then you work out the most efficient way of doing it, because international touring, of course, is horribly expensive. But the real trick is somehow balancing all these elements together and still being able to deliver the creative vision of the original show from where it was performed. which means bringing together the elements of finance, the elements of theatre technicians, the logistics of travel, the logistics of freight, put them all in the pot and see what comes out. But the guiding principle has to be the artistic quality of what you're bringing.
We know that it takes like sometimes a long time to produce even like 10 to 20 minutes long content, and I'm quite curious, how long does it take to produce one big stage play, for example, in UK?
Oh, normally a play itself would probably have a rehearsal period of about 3 months. But before that, a lot of development work will have gone into it with the design, building sets. So it can, and also, of course, again, the most important thing is raising the finance. So sometimes it can take someone 10 years, and sometimes you can put a project together in as little as a year. But that's starting a project from scratch. When you already have the existing work, then the speciality of our company is to be able to understand the project, look at it all organically, and to deliver it into a different space as soon as we can.
I heard that you, as soon as you arrived in Mongolia, watched the Mongolian play by the famous Mongolian writer B.Lkhagvasuren, The Throne Without a Seal. What was your impression from the play?
I loved it. It was a truly moving experience. I described it as almost Shakespearean in the way that it comes across. These themes of royalty and intrigue are very Shakespearean, so it was familiar to me with that. I also work a lot in dance, so to combine these elements of noble themes with the movement that the director has created on stage, along with the music, was a very, very moving experience.
It's been more than 20 years since the play Tamokotur, or The Throne Without a Seal, was written by the famous Mongolian writer and poet B.Lkhagvasuren. It premiered at the Mongolian State Academic Drama Theatre in 1998. The play depicts the tragic fate of the Hunu Emperor Archok, who sacrifices everything he loves to keep Mongolian statehood intact, including his wives and sons. On June 2nd, for the first time, the play was staged with English translation for a foreign audience in Mongolia. The performance was attended by cultural attachés, representatives of diplomatic missions and international NGOs, foreigners living and working in Mongolia, and visiting tourists. It was the first time that Mongolian play was staged with the simultaneous English and other foreign language translation in Ulaanbaatar. And for example, how do you think, what is the perspectives for Mongolian plays and spectacles to be staged in, for example, in UK or the foreign theaters, major theaters?
Well, I have to say, I would never look at just one country and say, oh, we must bring from this country. We have to look at specific works, because I'm sure in Mongolia you have good works and you have better works. But this, so I was looking at this particular production, which I can say I'm certain will ring a chord with British audiences and European audiences, because it tackles universal themes, but from a very, not necessarily Mongolian itself, but a Central Asian perspective.
The production team is now working on performing the play abroad, and the script is being translated into Korean, Chinese, German, and French. Our guests note that foreign performances of the play will bring Mongolia's creative industries to the international market and diversify Mongolian export. As there are many famous theaters in London's West End, the London premiere will open doors to presenting the play in other major European theaters. Of course, it's a great honor for production team, for Mongolian actors to stage their play in foreign theaters in UK. And what are the steps that should be completed to stage foreign play, for example, in London's theaters or other major theaters?
Well, mostly the ones that I already described. We have, we work everything out. We decide the best way to present it. We work, I mean, directors and set designers would preferably like you to take the actors and the building that they've staged it for with them, so that it will look exactly the same, but it doesn't work like that. So obviously you have to recreate the piece in a different space from the one it was intended to, and maintain its artistic integrity. But the director, whom I've already met, shows a total understanding of the task ahead. So I'm very confident that however and whatever the differences are from how it's presented here in Ulaanbaatar and in London or Paris or Munich, it will feel the same, and that's the most important, that the emotional content remains as it was in the original.
How do you see, you have just mentioned that it's already been 4 months since the project has been started, and if it will be produced in UK, it will be mostly British actors or Mongolian actors as well?
It's a creative decision, so it will be a decision by the directors and our production company, partner production company in the UK as well. In order to develop to the British audience, for the British audience, we are also working on the adaptation of the English translation. So on that translation, we invited John Mann, who is a famous writer who wrote Genghis Khan, Kublai Khan, and the Mongol Empire books, and his wife and a colleague, B.Lkhagvasuren, she's also she's adapted lots of plays to the for the West End and for the British theatres. So their team is working to adapt the English script as best as possible to work for the British producers, and also if there are British actors, and specifically for the British audience. So I know the play has been translated by our Southern Talks, by our experienced translator, very famous interpreter, and admire her work. Then again, because it's for the British audience, there are certain things that a native translator and person who is going to adapt the play are going to do some magic and some works on the text. So that's started a long time ago, and we're nearly finishing, and we will pass it to the director and also to the producers so that they could understand really the meat of the play and the soul of the play, etc. Another thing is, I think the cast is going to be the same, but they need to learn English as well. So they're working on it. They've got the script, and they've been practicing. And also, it's very important when they go there, maybe give an interview, press interviews in English, and it'd be good for them to understand the culture that the actors are going to as well. And likewise for the British producers, we're trying to let them introduce to the Mongolian culture, because it's not just the play we're talking about. We're talking about promoting our Mongolian culture and the language and the costumes and history and archaeology. So it's very important that this project goes to the UK as a compact promotional piece, and it's a start of the hopefully theatre productions touring the UK and Europe and other countries. As we know, we have great opera singers who are promoting Mongolia already, and who started in the UK actually with the BBC opera singing competitions, like Amr Tushin and Darren Butter, who's working in Russia successfully. So it's a creative industry that we're promoting. Creative industry of Mongolia we're promoting to the UK and to the world. So hopefully our theatre productions are going to start with this spectacular play and promote Mongolia as well.
Aside from this project Throne Without the Seal in West End, what kind of other cultural activities are being planned in the UK?
So the coming year, 2023, is the 60th anniversary of establishing diplomatic relations between Mongolia and the UK. And many works are being planned, including the exhibition of Zanbazar and gala concert, many exhibitions throughout the year. So this play we are seeing as part of this 60th anniversary, and hopefully there will be government collaborations to support our work as well.
Thank you very much for viewing our episode of Talk Scoop today. And today we had in our studio UK theatre producer Mr. Paul Godfrey and Mongolian cultural envoy to UK Mrs. Unurmaa Janchiv. Have a nice evening. Goodbye.